Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LanceScurvLive. We're on fire this week, and we are basically tearing things up on a spiritual level. I just want to say, at first, this is not an attack on anybody's belief system. But then when you believe in things, it doesn't even necessarily mean that it's true. I'll lower this down a little bit. I'm looking like a kid in a candy store, peeking over the counter to get some candy. But we've talked about this so many times, and this is not an effort to bash anyone personally or make it anything personal or take out a personal vendetta on anyone or any sect, any part of religion, on any religion. This is not a matter of trying to get hits. I'm very calm. This is not going to be some accusatory, finger pointing, screaming, yelling, getting nowhere type thing. But it's really a sensible approach, a conversation, a dialogue to figure out what really it is, because this is 2023. And in this hierarchy of religion, notice I didn't say spirituality. In this hierarchy of religion, there's just so much dysfunction. There's so much what appears to be mental illness. And so since I don't want to get in trouble with anybody on my definition, let's just look it up right now. What mental illness is. We know what it is, but we just want to be sure of it. Let's pull it up. A mental disorder is characterized by a clinically significant disturbance in an individual's cognition, emotional regulation, or behavior. It is usually associated with distress or impairment in important areas of functioning. There are many types of mental disorders. Let me just go a little further. Okay, let me see if they list this out. Or do I have to open up the whole article? Okay, here's a quick one. I'm not going to get too much into the reading. This is a discussion, and I do welcome everybody to come in on the discussion. This is not going to be something that we bring up, and I will bring up some examples of things I've been through, but I'm not going to damn everybody because of the behavior of a few, but it's just too much. And that means that there's somebody there ignoring what is going on in the Black church. And people say, well, I don't go to church, it doesn't matter, but there's so many churches across the land and people that we have to deal with in our community, that if we're going to be a powerful community, we have to clean up, even if it's not exactly in our own backyard. Maybe the house next door needs some cleaning up, because the Black church is highly influential in the Black community, especially in America and all over the world where it's been colonized. Like I see here in West Africa, there are churches all over so many places, but the dysfunction levels here are just so high. 5 warning signs of mental illness. Changes in personality, changes in emotion, isolation, sudden absence of self-care, sense of hopelessness or feeling overwhelmed, right? And I have other examples here, but I can go down the list with the Black church and many of our members that have gone there, people that we've known, and they got hit with the spores, and all of a sudden their behavior begins to change. Changes in personality. You've been hanging out with this person for the longest time. I mean, you grew up with them. Pretty much, you might have started hanging out with them because you're in the same class in school, neighborhood, but you know them quite well. The proximity is what has brought you this level of familiarity. So all of a sudden, you know, you're busy. You're getting out of high school. Maybe they went to college, you went to college, or took a job, went for some training, and maybe got into a relationship. So there's a little distance between you and this person right now, right? So in that, things change a little bit. We grow. But all of a sudden, they come on like gangbusters and they start pushing religion on you, telling you about your life from what they know. And all of a sudden, wait a second, you know, where's all this coming from, bro? I'm just glad to see you. But why are you shoving all this down my throat? And they have a sense of urgency over and above, almost to the point where they've been intoxicated or hit with a shot of something, or it's cult-like. It's really cult-like. Where am I looking for here? Okay, here we go. It's cult-like, massive change in personality. Everything is church, church, church. You got to come to church. Then they're threatening you, eternal damnation if you don't come to church. But just 6 months ago, they were womanizing. Yeah, we could change from non-productive ways. Just a few months ago, you were sniffing coke. Just a few months ago, you were selling a little weed to supplement your income, and maybe you felt that wasn't too cool, but you didn't say anything to them. But they dropped all of this stuff, and it's all about the church. And every time you see them, they're with the Bible in their hand, and they're reading something, say, hey, man, where are you? Is this the person that I know? Mental illness. Look, I love food. We need food to sustain ourselves. But do you see me walking down the street, say, hey, you got to check out this restaurant, man. Hey, check this recipe out, man. If you don't eat, you're going to die. Well, we know that because we know pleasure and pain are the two highest motivational forces in the world. And when our head gets a little dizzy and when we get hungry and we feel that pain or those hunger pangs, we know where we have to start looking. So when you're full, you're okay. So when you're hungry all of a sudden, but they come at you with this sense of urgency out of nowhere, changes in emotion. Their whole focal point is church. They don't care about their sister no more. They don't care about their brother anymore. What I mean is, if the sister has a couple of kids and they're not doing too good, almost they don't really care about them to give them a little money to get some food because everything has to go in that offering plate. Everything is about church. Everything is about the money that you have to bring to that pastor. And they say, well, it's not the pastor that gets it. It's the church that gets it. But come on now. You see what the pastor has. And not all pastors have riches like that. I'm not stupid. There are some good pastors that have good intentions, even though they're in a hierarchy that is not too good for us. And they'll probably break out of that when they wake up. So I'm not gonna damn everybody, because even some of the bad churches that are so caught up in the control of the people, they will do good deeds. And what, you're going to say something bad about them if they hooked you up with a loan or hooked you up with a whole refrigerator worth of food, 2 weeks worth of food? Now you're sold to them. You can't say anything bad to them. They can be very manipulative also. Isolation. They don't want to do the same things anymore because they're in church. Church, 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 church. Pastor, 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 pastor. It's almost like they learned a whole different religion. They come to this family reunion every year, but they don't want to come because all y'all are not in church. They don't want to check on family members no more out of love, out of their heart, because you're not in church. I'm not going to be with you. For them, church is a cult. It's a mental illness for people that fills in certain voids, certain states of being empty. And this is temporary also, because they get so caught up in that until they run it down to the nub. They run it down to the rims. And they realize things haven't changed because it wasn't sincere. It was just something new to do. The honeymoon phase, to get away from the mental illness that they already suffer from the inside. And it doesn't have to be church. It can be other things. But I'm speaking to the ones who latch on to religion in the Black church. And just their whole id is about that. Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars are given to the Black church. But we don't see any improvement in anything or any facets of that same community. It looks the same, dilapidated, run down. See, that's because, as we well know here, has been taught by Neil Frazier and so many other people, that the money that goes to the church is not going anywhere for us. It's going into those white bankers to subsidize their construction and their gentrification on your neighborhood. So you're putting a noose around your neck for the enemy. So if that's not mental sickness, I don't know what is. I've seen it time and time again. I've yelled about it, ranted about it. I cannot even get into that. I'm not trying to put anybody down. This is just not a judgment, but an assessment. A judgment is when you don't know. Let me make an approximation of what this distance is between here and the wall. But an assessment, when you can assess something exactly as it is, means I had the tape measure to measure from here to the wall. And I just want people, I'm not going to say to wake up, because this is a time of separation from some of our own people who haven't waken up. We can't wait any longer. We got to move and ascend into a positive place. And we're not complaining. We're just giving an assessment, mainly like a final call, because whether you know it or not, World War III in essence has begun. There's just a few more moves with the United States and NATO being attacked, that it's going to be full blown, but they're not telling you that in the mainstream media. So where this will take us, I don't know, but I know if we do have this mental sickness and have a focus that is not directed in the proper way for our community, then we cannot survive past that, because nobody cares about us. They don't care about us. I just finished looking at Tucker Carlson on Fox News. I watched The Enemy also to see what they're putting out to control the minds of others, right? And he slipped it in real quick because he had an interview with Donald Trump. And what he said was, yes, well, we're focusing on things like transhumanism, transgender, racism, you know, those imaginary things. Now, I know the transhumanism they're trying to bring in for real, but those running around talking about transgender rights, we know that that's cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. But racism, you're a white man on TV, you slipped that one in behind there? Like, I didn't catch that? So we're racism? Well, listen, when I speak about the war, I'm only speaking about the part that touches us, that may affect us, that there is a nuclear situation that goes on. How do we survive? So Tucker Carlson, if you ever see this, and I doubt that you ever will, that imaginary World War III and all this stuff, the collapse of the dollar, it's imaginary. To me, if me dealing with racism and my people dealing with institutionalized racism is imaginary, and all the things that you've seen, which has affected us and helped us into this state of mental illness, then guess what? The stuff y'all are going through, fighting each other, I don't know, is it imagination? Just my imagination running away with me. Ooh. Let me see what's going on here. Let me, oh, wow. We've been running y'all down with the shows, man. The chat room was looking lean, but the good people are here nonetheless. Mrs. Melanin, how are you? Landon Price, good to see you here, brother. Yep. Accommodating. Neffy, how are you? K Levy, haven't seen you in a while. Maybe you were here and it slipped, but okay, it's not highlighting. Okay, let me see. Boom. There, K Levy, there you go. Indigo King 1111. Exactly. Right. Good to see you here, brother. And who do we have here? Fair use. I like that. You can't say I'm doing anything with a copyright strike because it's fair use. That's right. They steal things and we do fair use and they incriminate us all the time. Brother Kwame, Big 6-0 here. Feel good and feel strong. Yes, Moonshine 99. I like that name. I'm feeling a little tipsy right now with the moonshine, right? Tracy J in the house. Much love. Good evening. Fresh off the plantation now. Yes, I know you are. I know, and I know you're glad too. He's tired of singing them Negro spirituals. Yes, you know, no matter what it is out here, man, we just got to pull our resources together. Like I said, right now, I'm not into the wake up phase of anybody. If you haven't awakened in the last few decades, if you haven't, depending on your age now, right? But still, you know, if you're still in La La Land through the things that they put out there for us, then what can I say? You know, you're in a state of affairs, and there comes a point where when the bus doesn't appear to be running, what do? Stand in the bus stop all night? Oh, the last bus is at 12 midnight. It'll be here. And you've been there from 11:30. People in the neighborhood, so no, that bus didn't pass by yet. Of course, it's 11:30. So you know when 12 comes and 12:05, 12:10, 12:15, you know when it comes, you don't see it, it hasn't come yet. Maybe something happened to the bus. It broke down. Who knows? There's no way it took another route. You're waiting and waiting and waiting. Now it's 1:30 in the morning. You begin to start thinking, wait a second, this bus may not come. This is the way we are with the system that doesn't serve us and the patriotic people that fight us down because they want to be more into the whole patriotism for America instead of building our own nation within a nation. And I'm wiping my head and I'm getting pieces of thread here. If it's not that, there's flies on my head when I'm doing the walk or talk or rooftops. Fly just chilling out, knowing I can't even see it. Want to get on the camera. But that's what it is. Is this system really serving you? Right? And we all seem that we want to get kind of, I'm not going to say the word with a K, but with a C, clanned up. Not clan like KKK, but clanned up with other people. This is our nature. We're social beings. We're Africans, no matter where we are in the world, whether someone will acknowledge it or not, but they will give you your nigga wake-up call when necessary to let you know who you are. And you so proud to be in their corporations. You so proud to be in their churches next to them. Well, I have a mixed congregation in our church, and we have people of all races, and they don't see color at all. That's why they live in their neighborhood away from you. You know what I mean? That's why, not that they want to marry you and breed with you, but you're the first one. You don't see them touting that. You're the one touting that because you're glad to be next to them. That's another sign of mental sickness. And like they said, how can the people lynch and kill and they say, well, that's the old days. It's not, well, the methods may be different, but they still killing us. And go and sit up in a church and pray to a God and call themselves, I'm just using the word Christian. They're mentally sick too, but the focus is not on them tonight, because how many of them are not mentally sick? They usually are, until stirred up. Like I said, when you put the sugar and you put the iced tea or an iced tea mix and just water, and you don't stir it up, you drink it. Oh, this water tastes so good. This is some nice water. I like this water. This is some fresh water. But put the spoon in there and stir it up, and you'll see what's deep down in the heart of these people. And it's going to come to that, as things are stirred up and they start to panic. They're going to start showing you. Every time I wipe my face, I got to get a piece of thread. What kind of cheap rag is this? I bought this on the outside. I was sweating so much. I always sweat. So I'm not unkempt here, but pardon me. It looks like a little cut too. I don't want people thinking, what you getting in fights or something. Hey, you can't stay on. Oh, am I? Okay, yeah, I'm hitting the right side. You don't want to go. Like that old girlfriend years ago I broke up with, and she didn't want to go. I'm not going. She broke up with Jennifer Holliday. And I am telling you, I'm not going. And that should be the coon theme for the coons in America. And you can stay in America. It's no crime to stay there if you have your plan. But if the mentality stays there where you're not going, you refuse to see these people as bad people. I'm one with them and they're one with me. I'm not telling you to hate anybody. I'm just telling you to love yourself. You love them so much, but hate yourself. Seriously. And that's where the mental illness comes in, because that's a way for many people to ignore what is going on in the world. And only when the pastor says certain things or instructs you because you've become a crony for them, an imp for the pastor, you're to ignore everything else. You're not supposed to think about anything else or plan your own moves. Everything is through the church. If the church don't approve it, it ain't happening. That's why some of your marriages are jacked up and had a chance to heal back up. If you dealt with a real person, that person of wisdom that we get rid of and throw in old folks' homes or assisted living facilities. They get too old for us to take. They're too much of a bother. See, a child, many people think that, but they're not going to say that. But they know that child's going to be up to be able to get on their own. It's just going to go down with the elderly. So they don't want to be bothered with it unless they have several $1 million in your name in a will, right? But those are the people. See, we've deconstructed the black community so much. And like I said, the church had its role back in the times of slavery because it brought us together. And it was much more than worshiping God. We strategically spoke on how to survive in the midst of something that was real for us, death. We were in a Bible study in a church. I'm talking about years ago, back in those days. And while they're acting like they're studying the Bible, they're whispering to each other about a slave master to watch them to make sure they weren't doing anything revolutionary or speaking on breaking out or even a revolt, a slave revolt. We're not slaves, but that's what they called it in the history books, in their history books. So yeah, they don't tell you about those, but there were countless slave revolts where they took over and killed the oppressor, killed the slave master, and moved on and did it to the next people. I don't know how a lot of those things ended up, but I have a Dr. Isa Muhammad come on sometime. He's a professor of history, and he could tell us about those things better than I could. Matter of fact, I'm going to give him a call tomorrow. We need him now. We need him to break down some facts, especially to tie in what's going on in the world. Also, Brother Malik, I got to get him on too, because these brothers are so well versed in history and the black struggle that they can give a different perspective, which is very, look, what's going on here? I do not have makeup on my face. Let me wipe this thing off. What kind? Maybe I had to wash it first or something before, because it's shedding all over my face. It's shedding all over my face. You don't have to say a word. Oh, yes. Let me look in the chat room here. Master Glam in the house. Good to see you. D. Griffin, back again, and I love it. And of course, Tracy J. Yeah. Right, exactly. Get on Hard Times and see how much the church and pastor love you. That's right. That's right. We got Roz. Let me see. Roz Naya. Okay, good. Welcome on in. What is Kwame talking about now? You're right, Coach. When Africans had our churches, we mainly connected with our ancestors and also the fight for freedom against slavery. But look at it now. Too much bling bling. Yep. Too much bling bling and too much backside and too much boobies and too much hate and too much red bottom shoes and too much parking lots that look like luxury car parking lots with all the hate that we have in our heart. Misled and misdirected. So, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to hold it a certain way so this thing doesn't shed because, I got my fan on. I got the lights on me, but the lights are just overwhelming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a whole lot on this shiny head of mine. But yeah, let me see what Rosnaya said. Now let's see here. What you say? Schizoaffective disorder brought on by my church, brought on by the church. Okay, a little typo there, but I know what you mean though. Pimps in the pulpit. Yeah. Oh, good. Queens in the house. That's right. Sutphin Boulevard, Guy Brewer Boulevard, New York Boulevard, Merrick Boulevard, Farmers Boulevard, Linden Boulevard. Should I name some more? Oh, God. Queens, yes. Baisley Pond Park, and the Lovers Lane on the side. I ain't gonna listen. I'm gonna be ready by the time this show is over. But what I'm saying is that with the church and the Black church and the effect that it has on us is that it hasn't changed. It's like we're walking into a world that existed many decades ago. It's like something comes over us like that just can't change. Where are the pastors that are talking about things that we need to do to survive with the sense of urgency? You're passing around that offering plate, but what about the knowledge given to us? You have a captive audience who admires you. It's hero worship. It's celebrity worship. Now pastors, some of the big ones have bodyguards that are armed. Why? If they're doing right by the people, why? But maybe they're tipping around with a couple of people's wives, stealing money, doing whatever. And again, not all of them, not all pastors are doing that, but the mental illness in the church that we disconnect from the outside world and just, I don't know, we're zombies. We're zombies in the outside world. We're zombified. And this indoctrination, this thing that comes over us, especially the love bombing when you first get in, because we all can use a little bit of extra love and attention. When you first get in these churches, you find so many people smiling at you, accepting you as you are in whatever condition you come in. The outside world doesn't do that. They look at you funny and make fun of you under their breath, and it comes back to you, good friends talking about you behind your back. But then when you go inside this church for the first 2 or 3 weeks, they're love bombing you. They're accepting you as you are. Stand up, young man. Stand up, young woman. Do you have a church home? If I may ask, you're new here. We haven't seen you here before. Where are you from, if we may ask? Oh, I'm from South Carolina. Yes. And I'm new here, and this is New York, and I'm just so glad to be here. Yes, sister. Let's get a little hand for the sister. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus in his name. Yes, and I just feel so good. I feel the spirit of the Lord here, and I just want to ask, can I be a member here? Yes, you can, sister. Oh, hallelujah. Doom, 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 doom. And you're like, oh man, all of this for me? Wow, all these wonderful people. I'm going to the bathroom and they're saying praise Jesus and hugging me and thanking me for coming there. When I go to work, nobody wants to smile at me. When I go home, nobody wants to smile at me. They run in the door and close the door and shut the door. Here, there's your food. You don't get no loving at home. You don't get no real loving at home. So I'm going to this church and all these people are so happy to see me. Man, what a dopamine hit. That's what you go into church for. That should have been in the title, really, that dopamine hit. The dopamine hit of the Black church. because we don't get no feel goods nowhere else. So we come in there for the feel goods. So you're overwhelmed with the fuzzy, warm feel goods that you get in the church, and you can't believe it. You don't even masturbate that night. You're so ecstatic. You're, oh man, battery operator boyfriend over to the side. Zzz, what's up? You ain't gonna visit with me tonight? No, I don't need you. I got another way to come. I'm spiritually coming, but you're not spiritually anything. It's religious. And religious things sometimes you can forget to do. I hope you don't forget to brush your teeth because you're going to go to work with your breath stinking. I hope you don't forget to wipe your backside because that part of your body is going to be stinking, right? But you can forget these things sometime, more so. Not that. That's mental sickness in itself. But things that you do over and over, sometimes you leave the house and you're halfway to work in your car or in a commute and you realize, I don't have my cell phone. I usually take my cell phone with me. We forget these things. But with these things that are given, when they love bomb you and hug up on you and they send them two church sisters to your home, depending on if it's a couple, they may say a man and a woman, and they want to see what you have in your home. They want to see what kind of car you drive. If you have another type car, they ask politely to use the restroom. When they're in the restroom, they all up in your medicine cabinet, seeing if you're taking these psychotropic drugs. If you cray, I'm not saying you are if you do. They just want to see medically what you got going on. Oh, sister so-and-so. They run back to the pastor. I don't see no man there. She said she's single. She only had one toothbrush, so that's a good sign. But we saw some birth control pills up in there, and they were just administered last week. So sister so-and-so, so the pastor has to hurry up. Ain't no man in sight, but maybe there is. One toothbrush. We know what she doing. She got them pretty lips, and you know how dangerous lips can be, both pairs. Oh man, come on, man. I'm gonna put some music on, get up and get. I don't want to be all sliced up looking. Oh man, this is a conspiracy. They waited for me to get this. No, I'm just playing, right? But that's what they do. Let me drop the link if anybody wants to come on inside during this, and add on something to it. I'm laid back today, and this is not going to go for a long, super long time, super duper long time. For a little bit, we'll go on, and then we'll open up the conference line and roll out on that because y'all are off the chain on the conference line. Oh man, uncensored too. Everybody talking. We're talking about all kind of things. We can let it hang out all the way. Anybody want to come on in? Anybody want to come on in? Let me just acknowledge new folks that came in. I'm kind of far away from, would you say I know all about them? Yeah. I'm not going to say I grew up in it strict, right? My mother said, you better go. But, huh? You sleeping? You ain't sleeping? No. She really wasn't like that. She was raised that way, but not in the churchified. She had a little dignity. She didn't really, I'm not knocking any parts of Christianity, but she wasn't really with the Pentecostals, but she went to Pentecostal churches if she had to sing. For those who don't know, she graduated from Juilliard School of Music, a very prestigious school for music, one of the top schools in New York back in the early 50s. And she sung opera. But because, when you sing opera, you could sing anything. So there were people who were so caught up in her voice. Her voice was really, really well trained. It wasn't somebody who, no, it wasn't that kind of thing. Well trained. For many years of my life, I would go with her to different rehearsals. But when my brother was born back in 52, that took her attention. So she didn't fall off. She just, her focus was split. You probably would have known her more than me. You probably said, that's not your mother. She was destined for world fame, I would say, not because she's my mother, but because of all the people around her that were kind of disappointed that it never really happened. And you know how my brother was on drugs and she was looking out for him and all this and all that. But make a long story short, because of that, weddings and church services and funerals, we were in so many different churches, and she had one or two churches that she would go to on a regular basis, which may be once every 2 months because she's somewhere else doing something. So I was raised in a whole bunch of churches. I had friends of mine who went to church regularly, and I hung out with them. So I'm going with you because it was a fun thing, because we were there making fun of people anyway when they were getting in the spirit. We were young. We didn't know. Come on, y'all. You see the little kids. You see somebody all in the, like Tracy J asked last night in the conference, when they fall, why do they always fall back? Right? I want to hear from you, Tracy J, on those few things. Why do they always fall back? Why, and there's always somebody there to catch them, like it's on cue. My thing is like, what if you like somebody who had a vendetta against the person who was getting in the spirit, and they fell back and you didn't go to catch them. Boom! They get it. Look, if they're really in the spirit, they're gonna feel it. This big head of mine is gonna crack the ground. I'm gonna catch a headache, and everybody in a 5-mile radius of where I am is gonna get a headache. That's how big my head is. So that's why I'm actually 10 feet away from the. No, I'm just playing. I'm like a 1.5 feet away, right? And I keep using this thing and complaining. Tag on it. You know what? Let's put on some church music for a second, and let me go and get another towel that I have to be worried about picking my face with. The heck is going on? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'll be right back, y'all. Oh, we got No, we're not gonna put no music on. We're gonna let Tracy J talk. I didn't even see her, but your thing is not okay. Here it is. Here it is. Tracy J, you are in.
Hear me?
Let me hear from you while I run to get another towel. I'll be right back. You with me, Tracy J? I see you. Do I have something jacked up over here? No, everything over here is good. Let me hear you, sweetheart, if you're ready. If you're not ready, I'll put some music on and grab that big behind towel over there. And I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back. I want you all to put your hands together now. We all have that demon of lust inside of us. And I'm going to ask you all of you young ladies sitting up in the front row with them pretty legs, to go back a few seats, because you know what? If you keep on looking good like that, I'm going to forget about my wife over here, and I'm going to have to lay hands on you. I'm going to have to lay some serious hands on you. And that brother in the back, I know what kind of spirit you have. Every time another brother goes back to the bathroom, you get up like you gotta go pee, and you stay in there for 20 minutes long, and your knees on your pants are dirty. It's that down low spirit. I'm bugging. Let me cut this off. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Let's okay, we got the sound right. You can hear me correctly? Right? Let me see. Hallelujah. Let's see. Grab your neighbor and say neighbor, right. It could be your next door neighbor that you can't stand, and they're in there with you, you know. They're running up and down the aisle. That's right. Look, when I get the studio really set up and I can put one of the cameras far away, I'm gonna do a mock church service. Yes, I am. We're going to have some very shapely sisters that are there, scantily clad. And we're going to have a couple down low acting brothers. We're going to show what the church is all about. You know I'm nuts. The tambourines, right? And the Mahalia Jackson fans, the little fans that had Mahalia Jackson. Remember that one? That's an old one. You know? A little popsicle stick type of, you know, yeah. And everybody took one home. It was always like that. Yeah, we're gonna do some Pass the Lance one day. Queen D, the truth seeker. I'm gonna do a full-fledged production, nicely shot. I'm gonna do something that's shot. I'm not just gonna do it live. We're gonna do something shot first and I'm just gonna surprise you. I've always wanted to do that. Like a spoof, but I'm gonna get down and do the real deal. We're gonna take an hour on that one. I'm gonna give a sermon. You know, somersaults. I have yet to see that one. Yeah. One day you're going to see it up, just going to say Pastor Lance. You're going to see me up there and I'm going to have my little purple robe on. I know the colors now. You know, maybe I can pay one of these guys to actually get up in a real church during the week. I got to start scoping out churches to see which one looks really, you know, appropriate. Let them know what I'm doing too, you know. They may not like it. The dopamine hit, that's right. Like I was saying earlier, every Sunday in church is a mastermind of ignorance for that hit of dopamine. Golden Corral after that. For real. Golden Corral. And look, Golden Corral benefits from the black church. So some of the people, especially in the South, and some of the Golden Corrals in the South that I've been to, oh man, they can be racist as hell, but they're gonna be smiling for you because you're bringing that money. And them big church ladies, well, they can eat. Right, if your daddy saw you, he'd rebuke you. You fell off, you're backsliding. Kevin Clark, whatever way they do it, right? I know I'm nuts. I know you're over there laughing, Kevin. He's like, hit it. Because we used to have some neighbors of ours who really got down when they got in the spirit and they grabbed their skirt and Mashunda! Oh, Mashunda! Oh, you're like, what the hell? Mental illness, y'all. Oh man, I'm making fun now. I'm making fun. I shouldn't do that, but you know, yeah. The ushers with the white gloves passing the orphan plate, and the old church ladies who were like ushers. They were ushers, but they had them glasses that you see them from the side. The eye was regular, but when they look at you, the eye was huge. And they can look at you across and you can chew real slow. And it's tapping the shoulder to make you get rid of the gum. Ain't that something? Let's see what's going on. What do I pass in here real quick? Hold on. I'm sorry. The Bible is a joke. Evil and wicked by the Greeks and Romans. Believe in those scriptures. If you want to, anytime you practice death, your spirit is evil. I put you on. And when she just came, I got to put that one back. Let it linger. Let's tarry with that one for a while I wipe my face. Or at least this towel doesn't leak off on my face looking like I'm all cut up. Yeah, let's crack a barrel. Walking into the church was how they, should have shunned you. The collection plate goes around about 4 times. I see them jump all the way down from the altar and take off running. Yeah. Because they're happy about getting that money. You got to bring that man the money. Like Muhammad Ali said, you got to bring that man the money. Crack a barrel. Y'all are cracking me up over here. Let me drop that link one more time. See who wants to add on. If not, I'm going to continue on. We're going to make it happen. Yeah, with the quivering hand, feeling the spirit. Oh, y'all are masters of this thing. Y'all know. And they have a collection plate right before the service is over. Because when you try to slip in late, forget it. You think, okay, it's going to end in 5 minutes. And everybody's getting their coat on. And there's that other, and it hits you. You can't get away. And what's worse is that you didn't even hear the service and you got to pay. So what's up? They don't care. Oh, okay. Let's see. Indigo King. He was just going to say it. Oh, Shanda. I came in a Honda too, but it wasn't in church. Master Glam in the house. Drum roll, please. Talk to me, sister. So I know you know.
Lance, I don't need a drum roll, Lance. I need the tambourines. You gotta have the tambourines.
I know about that. Go ahead. Talk to us, sister. Glad to see you in. I know you got a lot. Let it all hang out.
You know, have you ever been to one of those churches? Like every couple minutes, the band will start playing. Like whether it's somebody on the piano, like when the pastor says something, they'll just play a little line, like they'll be like or they'll like hit the drums and stuff like that. The pastor will say something and you hear him say like, yeah.
It's
to get you excited. It's to get you excited, you know.
Get you jumping. boom, boom.
But I think that's why Black people love going to church though, because Black people we love to get down. So you know, it don't matter what culture of Black people. Like we love music. You know, we love the rhythm. And then like we were talking about yesterday, you know, we're looking for like somewhere to heal. You know, somewhere to bring our burdens to.
You in, Tracy J?
I cannot hear.
Let's give them a conference line style of talking without really risking everything. All we need is mixture faves up in here. It's a wrap. I'm gonna say y'all are crazy on the conference line. I may drop in and say a few things and I don't mean just crazy. You say some very intelligent things, but when y'all get down, sometimes you have me cracking up. Tracy J fell off. What happened? Okay, we'll keep talking, Master Liam. Go ahead. You came in. Come on. Let's and she's back now.
Mic off. When I turn it on.
Maybe are you connected to your like Wi-Fi or something? I had to it's better if you like just use the phone and not the earpiece and stuff. It be acting weird, like it's real.
I'm sorry. Kevin says, hit it. I got to hit it. We go into the store sometime. Back in the day, decades ago, Lance, hit it. There's always a shunda in there too.
Okay, I can hear now.
They're all speaking the same language. They're speaking their own language. It's their own language, their own demonic language. Because like, what are you saying? And like you said, sometimes they do, or they be like, oh, shanana, like it's certain stuff that they.
There's a church down the block.
Is not tongues. That stuff is not tongues. It is babble, because actual tongues is a language. It's a language that can be understood. That's what tongues is. It's not this babble that they pass on.
What's possessing them to speak like that?
That's a demon, because Satan is, when they speak in tongues, they sound the same way.
Well, why ain't nobody calling it out while they in church? Why ain't
because
nobody
they still
calling
was teaching that they're still teaching that it's tongues. They're still passing it off as tongues, and it's not. And what about the pastor and his entourage? Don't they walk in like Puff Daddy and Mace from back in the day? Like they walk in with the glasses on, the black suits, and all this stuff.
Girl, I swear to God, I went to visit this one church, and that's exactly how they did it. And I'm telling you, just like the tambourine, like they started playing music and stuff like that, and they waited for the pastor and his wife, the first lady, to walk down the aisle. And girl, I swear to God, he had security.
That's right. He walks in like a celebrity. He walks in like he has like 50 dudes around him.
Like, don't touch him. Don't touch him. He's anointed.
Anointed. I know the pastor wants to do a little anointing to some of them fine sisters up in there. But these days, they ain't no mind. They looking at the brothers, down low pastors. What's up with that? They always been there. But they got a fine so-called first lady. First lady ain't no first lady no more. She's the last lady he looking at. They looking at them boys. Did you all see? Sorry to take. I just want to say one thing. Did you see that clip of the pastor's son, who evidently has access to the church? He took his phone, handed it to another guy who was there with him. I'm just going to tell you what it is. And gave the guy oral sex in the front row of the church. The church was empty. And
he did not.
Yes, please. Anybody here that saw that, just say like yes or just a why.
I did not. I'm glad I didn't see that.
No, and it was clear. I couldn't. It was disgusting to me, right? But it was. I had to watch it to be able to say what I saw. But homeboy was all into it, and the guy didn't show his face. But homeboy was doing the damn thing in the church, and the guy who was having it done was getting the angles to show, okay, you see this going in his mouth, but you see in the background the cross and everything, and he turned around and all the seats and everything in the church.
That's demonic. That is demonic.
That is.
You would go to a place where you're supposed to so-called worship, a place that you're supposed to whatever. What are you there for? This is
Right.
a joke for some of them. And let these people play with you. Let these demons play with you. I'm telling you, these demons, you will find them in church. You will find them at work. You will find them anywhere. And why? It's because they've allowed a demon to possess them. They are regular, everyday, average people just like us. There's nothing separating us from being different than one another. Ain't no believing this that makes you better and this and this and that. These people are sick. They are mentally ill, which is why they could even think that they're better than you, or that they make better choices than you because they believe in something. They believe that someone is gonna come back for them, and like, ain't nobody coming back for you. Y'all need to stop. And this is a mental illness. You're in the church every day doing what everybody else is doing, but yet and still, when you gather there, a lot of them act like they are holier than thou, and they're doing the dirtiest things, and it'll be the pastor doing the most dirtiest things, the pastor. So yeah, I know it's not all the churches, but it's too many of them. And it's like you're watching a show. And like I said, that's why a lot of them go to church, because it's like a movie for them. And every other church is a different theme. This is a movie.
Right. And then the pastors, they're the most materialistic people on the planet, because like Kwame said in the comments, how many cars do they own? I know preachers that have, every Sunday you'll see them drive up in a different car. And they're not even driving their own car. Somebody else is driving and they sitting in the back seat, like, you know, they driving Miss Daisy or something.
Literally. And I know some of y'all seen it. Y'all, people who's listening, you've seen it. People in the chat, you have seen it. They literally come in. A lot of them come in like they are superstars. Like, and they have bodyguards. The deacons are their bodyguards. This is like real. This ain't no stuff that, like, go to some of these churches and see some of this stuff that's happening. And then they want you to come there. Come there for what? For that mental manipulation?
No, I said they want you to come there, all right. Come on.
There was one pastor that was on yeah, Lance, you've been crazy.
And I need some of that service. I'm giving you service, and I want some service, because God has made you in a special way, and I want to let you know how special you are. I can promise you all of this. Just come on back in the office with me.
He want to test and see how special it is. That's what he want to do. He want to see how special it is. He wants to take your anointing from you. That's what he wants to see. This is all cold words. This is all, I want to take your anointing. They're going to take, no, they're stealing your energy. So they're stealing your light. So when you want to produce something, you want to be somebody, you know, you want to accomplish things, you know, when they've stolen your energy, when they've molested you, or if they've raped you, or when they have you in an affair and you're distancing yourself away from your family and your spouse. Like, that's what that is. That's what that is. This is all cold words, y'all. Cold words.
They want you to accommodate them. I'm so accommodating. You remember that? Dr. Umar made me suck his dick. I played it for you. That's what she said. It's on the video.
No.
I slipped it in the call on Patreon. I told you to go to the 5-minute mark and you heard it. I found it just for you. You know, I can be so accommodating. This is what the girl said. You know, and people take advantage of me when I'm so accommodating. And Dr. Umar, I thought he wanted to put my story out. I'm not putting down Dr. Umar. He's a single dude and he has a penis. Penis possession is very hard to maintain and keep in your pants. There's all these pretty girls out here. But that's what she said. He came over to talk to me about what happened to me in the IRS. And you know, can I be real with you? Can I tell you something? Can I be real? Yeah, sure, you can be real with me. Dr. Umar made me suck his dick. Man, I found that mute button so fast, I wasn't even a laugh. He's laugh. I was like, whoa, what are you saying? Yeah, but then after no, she didn't say after she did it. She said after he didn't want to talk about it. After he made you and after, but you're accommodating. You're right. Plus she was flirting with me after that. Anytime, Lance, you want to come to Maryland, you know you always have a place to stay. I was like, and she'll be saying on somebody else's show, LanceScurv made me something. No, you ain't gonna do that. See, let's swing it back around to the Black church, right? Oh, wow. Back and from my past, people can say that, but no, I'm not gonna be the person I am now, come and just do that and then run off and no. What I'm saying is that you have these women who come into the church for the purpose of going after the pastor and his money, and he's willing to accommodate them. You see what I mean? I'm not going to knock them. All of it is a big ball of chaos and madness. But in the midst of them all doing their thing on that decadent level, they're trying to make it all look holy. That's what gets me. If you're going to do what you do what you do. Don't put it out in front of the face of the kids, but this is what it is. But don't try to dress it up so holy and put God in it. You know what I mean? What you think about that?
Well, the pastor has always had his pick of any woman in the church anyway, because if you look at it, that's the single women and the married women. And the reason why is the women are looking up to the pastor as this ideal man. He's the dream man for them. And for the ones that's married, their husbands, aren't like that. Their husbands aren't, they aren't knowledgeable like that. Their husband don't have charisma or anything. So they're looking to this pastor like, this is the man that I should have married. And so you have all the women single and married in the church that's idolizing this one man and wanting to be with this one man. And that's how the pastor, he can just do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, for anybody's woman. I mean, he pretty much controls the women in the church. And he'll use that to his advantage.
And I've literally seen that. I've literally seen it because my dad, like I said, my dad's a pastor and he have other pastors that work with him. And I'm like, my mom would, like I said, my mom is, she's a pastor's wife. I ain't gonna lie. She come home and be gossiping with her friends on the phone. Did you see so-and-so? Her husband was trying to get in the car and this other lady was going to sit in the front seat. I guess they were going to give her a ride. And did you see how she started acting? Like, don't sit by my man. Don't sit by my husband. The front seat is for me. The front seat is for me. You're just gonna let her sit in the. This happened, and you would think that it's just that just happened and she wanted the front seat. No, baby, she was insecure because a man was cheating on her. That man was creeping, and he was the associate pastor. He was creeping. She came and told my parents about it, about how her husband was coming home at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and he wouldn't even come inside. He would sleep out in his car in front of the driveway after he just came from his girlfriend's house. So yeah, he was the pastor doing that shit.
And they also know the leverage that they have over people, and they abuse that.
Yep, that's emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation. So just like we keep talking about, this is narcissist behavior because they think that they're so holy that you can't touch them. Like just like Tracy said, it's like they feel like they have some kind of anointing on them where they can do stuff, but you can't. Are you sick? Why would you can't get up there and talk to me and tell me what to do, and you doing just what I'm doing and even worse. You can't do that. I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna respect you. No, you're treating your wife like trash. You're not a man. You're not there for your children. You got your wife raising your children alone. I have no respect for that. Some of these people, they are sick. They literally, that's a mental illness. You're being controlled by a demon. You need to go somewhere, heal yourself, and just close your mouth. Close your mouth and go heal. Go be alone. Because you need to be alone. Just like this man, you can't even take care of your own child because you're so worried about vagina. You're so worried about vagina, and then you come to you. Hey, just like Lance was talking about that little girl, you never know. They could be at church talking to you and they got pussy on their breath. Who knows what they be doing?
When you said I had a mouthful of juice, I almost sticky. I had to process that twice. I said, did she say what I thought she was going to say?
I mean, come on, like you don't know they're doing all this stuff, so it might as well be. You never know that. Who knows? And like you said, they might have some penis on their breath. Like, hey, they might like it that way. I'm telling you. And didn't I talk about this? Didn't I talk about that pastor? This is real. I did not talk about that pastor. He over here preaching to people and stuff, cheating on his wife, sleeping with another minister, a so-called minister. What? And then you was with the first lady having threesomes, and now you don't want the first lady. What happened with the first lady? She was doing everything you wanted. She was licking it. She was sucking. She was doing everything while you was getting everything. You was getting pleased. You wanted a man, she gave you a man. You wanted a woman, she gave you a woman. Like, how do you turn your wife out like that? Girl, he don't even have any respect for you. For him to be doing all that with you. And then you got freaky, at least stay with her. You know, some of these crazy white folks, when they be doing all of this crazy sexual stuff, at least they stay with their woman like, yeah, that's my bee. That's my bee. She do what I tell her to do. But you left her. You left her for another woman, and you're the pastor. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Master Glam is tearing it up. You know, Master Glam, I received, a cease and desist letter from some company that said I was using their trademark. And I'm like, what trademark is this? I looked down there and it said, Master Glam. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's something fake. It looked real.
It's
just
fake.
because I had the name on a video, let them hurry up and let them try to come after me.
You can send it to me, but it's definitely fake because it's definitely not trademarked.
Right.
The only thing I know that's even close to it to being trademarked is Glam Masters, which is a TV show. So I don't know what that could be, but
no, nothing to be scared of. I'm sent things all the time from years ago.
Cease and desist.
You have to pay us by Friday $42,000 for the use of our image. I'm like, are you crazy? Go ahead. I'm gonna start recording them. I'm gonna start recording them and just ripping them up a new one. For real. Y'all are crazy. Y'all know it well though. You know it well about the church. I'm gonna say it again. I think I said it on the conference call. I will say it. No, I said it on one of the shows this week about the what was he? What was his position? Oh God, he wasn't. There's a deacon, and this is in Orlando, Florida, and he was in the Navy, Army Reserve. So you know, the Army people consider the Army Reserve like, yeah, you're not a real soldier type thing. So he would come to church with his army fatigues on, and you know, I might be deployed later on tonight, and this and that. You know, playing up to it. He had a couple women in the church. One used to ride the bus with me and tell me everything. This is how I know, right? And I heard from other parts. See, doing this stuff and just doing the public jobs I had, you find out everything. So one of his things is he would go to the church, but nobody was there because he had keys. And he would go because he didn't have any internet by his own house. So what he would do is go to one of the offices and lock the door, put on the computer, whip open his jar of Vaseline and watch porn and whack his problems away. That's what he did. This classified information. I hope you listen because I don't like you. I hope you have something to say about it. In the church, even if you're not really, you know, I mean, come on, show some respect. Show some respect. certain things you just don't do. Even if you don't believe in it, you playing with it. You know, not playing with that. I'm just saying playing with the whole idea of this thing being real. Respect the other people who may be there. I'm gonna show people respect, but I'm gonna tell my truth too. Well, you ain't being so respectful, telling it like you're doing now. Well, it's my experience, and I'm good. Yeah, you're right, Libby Lou. The preacher's kids are just sneaky freaks.
Libby Lou.
No, but I'm not saying it about
isn't
you.
Libby Lou a PK too? Isn't Libby Lou a PK too? They're not freaking. PKs are just like you. It's just that you expect them to be a certain type of way. That's what you expect.
That's true. But you know, to me, it seems like, because I've had my encounters in life, and I'm not gonna say all of them that way, because there's some who are cool, you know, whatever. But those visible ones with those flashier pastor fathers, the ones with the pressure's on them because they can't go to the corner store without, oh, that's the preacher's kid. You're not you. You're not your name, but you're the pastor's kid. Everything is looked at through the framework of that 24/7. So when some of them, not all, get behind closed doors, it's on and popping. And I have dealt with at least two of them. And they get off on the decadence. They get off on the decadence. I'll give you a little display. They'll be like, and this was two unrelated situations. And they both kind of said, they said, I bet you didn't think that you'd have your thing in the pastor's daughter's mouth. Now, did you? Oh my God. Really? How's it feel? I'm like, man, you see that mirror behind me? Look at that, all that back there. Well, I do you. I'm like, blast off! Doom, 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 doom. All of a sudden, girl, where's it at? God, I love you. No, I'm just playing. Oh. Let's just say I've had my fair share. Then the one that want to read the Bible and quote scriptures when you down there, crazy. And they ain't acknowledging you, they just reading. But they get a little tense sometimes when certain, the Lord is my shepherd, that shall not. It's like, yo, how do I get myself in these situations? Now, that wasn't a preacher's daughter, that was somebody in the church. Because, you know, me as a teenager, that's all I've known. Them older ones that want you to come over and do work by their house. I already talked that already, so y'all know. This is going to be a lit conference line tonight. Wherever we take it, wherever we go.
Yep. Very. But, you know, I think, you know, maybe with that girl, it's like something that was like, you know, she was releasing her inhibitions, you know, because she probably, who knows, maybe she doesn't do that. And, you know, she was, you know, ready to, you know, please you. And who knows, maybe she does do it and she gets off on doing it. And she likes that, you know, her daddy doesn't know what she does. So, you know, everybody has their own vices. And then also, I think it's like a spiritual thing too. So, you know, she probably, it's just that energy that she has, you know, that energy that has become of her. So, you know, she wanted to release that energy on you.
Yeah. And lots of times, from what I understood, seriously, that it's almost like revenge on the fact that, you know, I didn't ask to be the pastor's daughter. So I'm going to get back at that. Maybe she doesn't hate him per se, but the situation, you know, her proximity to she can't just be regular and go out in the street and have a good time. I don't mean in the street doing something bad, but go out with the girlfriends in those formative years and just cut loose and have a little fun. Oh, there's the pastor's daughter. We got to watch her hard. Uh-oh. If she bent down to pick up a piece of paper that she dropped to put in the garbage can, they're going to come back. Oh, she was out there twerking. You know what I mean? Anything. You might itch your nose. I think she sniffed cocaine. Might be somebody else that she's talking to, you know, in the church, and they see you and you got a long walk and Where you walking to? I got to go a couple miles. Come on, I'll give you a ride. Ooh, she picking up strangers and hoeing. You see what I mean? Everything is from the framework of that and looking for the flaws. So when you do get behind closed doors and things are on and popping, it's like, you may not even want to really be into doing it, but I can do this now without being under the scope of being the pastor's daughter or the pastor's son. That's got to be a hell of a pressure, you know?
And definitely, Lance, you speaking the truth, because it's happened. It's literally happened to my little brother. Like, you know how younger kids nowadays, they go to like hotels and have parties. So he went to this party, and we don't even know who it was, but somebody saw him, and they was like, isn't that Pastor so-and-so's son? And literally told my dad in the next morning. Like, my dad found out about this early in the morning. So this person had to, like, what is this? Is this an emergency? My dad was like, somebody told me. Well, first he was like, he interrogated him and wanted him to tell him where he was at last night. And he was like, somebody told me that they saw you coming from a hotel. Like, what were you doing there? And it's just like people are gonna be people. Like, just like Lance said, like the girl, I mean, it's the truth. You don't ask to be put in these positions. You know, these are things that just happen. It just so happened that my father is a pastor. I didn't ask for that. That's why even when I became pregnant with my first child, I was almost 30 years old. I was 27 when I had my baby. And everybody's just, you know, even though they didn't say it, you know, this was the energy.
You might as well have been 12.
This is the energy. And then, you know, people start to whisper, you know, and then somebody, oh my God, did you see the pastor's daughter? She's pregnant. I went over there to her father's house, and I went to the pastor's house, and her stomach, she's really pregnant, and she's not even married. Oh my God. Yeah, so this is the type of stuff that they do. This is the energy, and it's just like, no, I'm just a regular person. Like, that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah, but half of these women who are out here saying that against you, and you're 27 years old and have a more stable home than some of these who are married to men who are out there doing all kind of things. I mean, it's to the point where when a woman catches her husband cheating, she better hope and pray that it's with a woman, much less find out he's cheating with a man. Because that psychological thing that hits her like, wait a second, he's into this, but he's with me? Then who am I? Best when, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying in this world, what would you rather? If you had to make a choice on, I mean, pain is pain. Deception is deception, and betrayal is betrayal. We understand that. But really look at it. I'm not saying this to condone a man's behavior for going out there and stepping out on his wife. But if you had to find out, which one would you choose? At least you can, the question that a woman says, well, she don't want to know at first, but after a while it's saying, what did you do with her? What does she look like? Does she look like me? Maybe she's more beautiful. Because most of the time, I'm going to tell you, most of the time when men step out, aside from the down low stuff, which I don't know nothing about, but they stepping out with somebody who probably pretty much doesn't look as good as you. That's what freaks most women out. That this woman he's taking a chance with don't look as good as me. Now, we don't know what the scale and the measures are of what looking good is, but pretty much you know what your man likes, whatever. But another big rusty dude. So what you're doing with him is not the same thing you're doing with me. So if you're doing that with him, why are you with me? And it's a certain type of, down to the years I've noticed this, interviews I've seen, people I've talked to that have been through that, where they found out that their man was a down low brother cheating with other guys. It's a certain pain. It's a different kind of pain. It's a more breathtaking pain. Like that. This really stops them in their tracks, because in the back of many women's minds, not all women that are married or in relationships, there's that thing like, okay, you're not paranoid, but it's like something that's actively on guard. You know, just like a security camera or a motion detection system that is there, but it's not active. And if it doesn't go off after a while, you go check to make sure the batteries are okay and the wires are all right. Okay, it's okay. Everything is good, no problem. But that's in the back of your mind. That's why you put that security system there in the first place, just in case. And it's that part of the woman's intuition that's always running. She could be having a good time with her mate and everything is fine and she's not even thinking that way. But there's that 1% of the 99% energy that's on guard. Might catch a glance from another woman, seeing her looking at your man, or he's acting funny. He's putting on his good clothes just to go walk now. He's going out different times. See, with the pastor, he gets away with a whole lot because there's many things that he could be doing that he has an excuse for. And so, like I said, I don't know what that pastor there, that Master Glam mentioned that the first lady was doing threesomes with him. So even still, that shows you not to condone that, right? But she's letting him bring women home and do this, and she's probably into it too, because that's pretty much what it is. Or maybe she thought that if I give him this, I can control it. No, you can't. Because a man who has that kind of thought in his head, he wants to have his cakes. I'll say cakes, and I ain't talking about the cake that you make with Duncan Hines. He wants his cakes and he wants to eat the other cakes too. And that's something just like the homosexual spirit that never gets satisfied, because there is no satisfied. There's only exhaustion in that, where they're spent and tired of doing what they do physically, thinking it was pleasure. Oh, I'm tired. No, they ain't satisfied. It never stops burning because it's not balanced. And a lot of these people in the church and in regular life have relationships that are not balanced. So therefore, it can't be satisfied. It's not in balance. And they're not seeking balance. It's just reaction to the lust that they feel. And the power of the pastor. You know how people come at you when you have a certain position on a job. People come at me a certain way. When I was working in the jail and the inmates that are there, they come at me a certain way. Women in the street, I'm pumping gas. They see I got the uniform on. They come at me a certain way. Even a regular old bus driver, especially in Orlando. Not too many great jobs out there. It's a pretty good job. They look at you. Oh, he's clean. His bloodstream must be clean. Must be making money. So that cuts out a lot of the things. So with the pastor, and I've said it before, there are a lot of women who are there who say, okay, he's a pretty nice guy. I wouldn't mind having somebody like that. And that's it. And then you have the other ones who, pretty nice guy. If he hit on me, I don't know if I'd refuse or not. Yeah, sitting there smiling with the first lady. Then you have those who are like, they actively thinking about the pastor. They may not be aggressive enough to make a move, but if the pastor looks at them a certain way, they'll put themselves in that pastor's way, right? Man, and you're looking up to see him. He's up there and you're looking up. Everything is right. Of course it's going to be right. The suit's right. The shoes are right. You're not looking at him or at home with him when there's streaks in his underwear that the first lady has. And I'm saying first lady, you're the first lady. Whoever you are as a woman, you're the first lady. Stop that foolishness. But that first lady, she's cleaning the streaks out of his underwear. She sees him a lot different than you do pastor worshiping when he's up there in front of the pulpit. And everything's so perfect. His car is perfect. And look at the rings on his finger. And he walked past me in a cologne. I don't know what kind of cologne that was. Everything's perfect in your mind. And you have your voids. But I'm not blaming the woman. Because very few men carry themselves in a way that would hit you that way. We working. We trying to make ends meet for our families and do what we do. You got all week now to wait and sit down and look up for the whole hour or 2 hours or 3 hours at this man, and all kind of thoughts are going through your head. You might have just broke up with somebody, but this man in front of you looks perfect. He's saying all the right things. He's feeding into your spirit. And there's another factor involved that many people don't understand. When some women see how the pastor gets so much admiration from so many different factions of life, You know, if it's one of those pastors that may not be a mega pastor, but he's well-to-do, and he flies all over the world, and he brings in some person from another country to speak, and they give him the utmost respect, and all these different people from all over the world in these conventions say these high words to him. So, oh my God, look, let's be real. It doesn't mean it's anybody, but for some women, that makes them quite moist, because in their fantasy, it's like, he's admired, he has money that y'all are giving to him, he has this relationship, and she looks happy. See, a lot of times these women that are out there that fall weak for the pastor, it's not like they're being mean and they're a homewrecker. They're just superimposing their life that they feel may have some voids in it onto his life. And a lot of times it start out where they don't even mean anything like that or sexual or whatever. They just like, wow, they're the example for me. They're the ones that I strive to be like. I want to be like her so I can have a man like that. And we can't stop ourselves from thinking. And we think things and there are no lines that to cross. So in the middle of the night, when the pastor's imagery flashes across her head or in her head, remember, like we say, everything that you look around and see is a product of a thought. Everything. I'm looking at that light. I'm looking at that green screen, that computer. I'm looking at that mouse, that pencil, that pen, this thing of juice right here. Somebody made this. It was a thought first before it manifests. So all these things that we see out in the world that are manifesting right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. I'm running my mouth. I didn't even see you down there. Your line is open, sweetheart. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm looking up and talking and whatnot. Sometimes I got to look down and whatnot. Come on in when you're ready, sister. But a lot of times. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget about the pastors also who they might be dealing with negative energy from people who want his spot also. Because just like you said, when they see like the pastors getting like all this attention and stuff, or they might think that, oh, you know, the pastor's getting all these women and stuff like that. They think a lot of them think this stuff. And some of them they want the pastor spot. So they might be like those deacons, like you said, that were, you know, lined up at that girl's house waiting to take turns to be with her. So it's like this is all about energy. So like these people, they have this negative demonic energy within them, and they're just worried about sex. They're just worried about sex, money, and power. These are the people that's in the church.
Yeah, we need to talk about that tomorrow, about the DL stuff, for real. No, let me tell you something. SK Chandler, I'm not blowing it up, but you mentioned it. So, you know, what she said about her ex-husband being DL, and it's growing. We don't know the numbers, right? So let me just put this in here. SK Chandler, if you want to come in, hit that link. If not, I'm not going to grill you or, oh, what happened? You know, maybe something painful. I just wanted you to say something light. If you hit that link, you don't have to show your face or anything like that. But in the church, that is overrun so bad.
Because they
different
can't
proportions
live
in different churches. Yeah. Yeah, Tracy J, I see you. There's something you got to do on your phone because it's not highlighted all the way. So there's something you got to do. There you go. There you go. Tracy J, you're in. But go ahead, Master Lamb.
No, I was agreeing with you. Because they can't, like they have these desires, but they can't act on them because they're at church and they have to keep this facade. But really they're homosexual. They want to be with men, you know, and then they marry women to try to pretend like they're straight, you know, so that they keep up this look. It's terrible. You can't do that kind of stuff to people, man. That's demonic. When you take away somebody's free will.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that kind of stuff to people. That's terrible. You can't do that. And then when you're like, when you do stuff in the dark, like a lot of negative things will come to you. because that's just the energy and the vibration that you're on. So you never know, you could pick up a disease or something. Like, these people, they don't love themselves, they don't care about themselves, and they don't care about the people who are around them. And you also have to realize that when you do something, it affects the people who are around you. So when you're cheating and stuff, it's affecting the people around you. Even those people who pray evil on pastor, or want pastor spot, or the deacons, like all this stuff, like you're bringing negative energy to you. You are on a low vibration, and you're just gonna be on a downward spiral, man. A downward spiral and an endless loop. Just evil.
That's right. What you got to say about that, Tracy J? She over there muted.
Oh no, I just like listening. But back to one of your points earlier about talking about the women and how they feel about the pastor. A lot of them live vicariously through the first lady, like imagining that they were her, because they long for this healthy relationship, well, quote unquote healthy relationship that they see in the church. And don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but they're looking at this man that has all this power, he has all this money. They see the first lady, she's well taken care of, she's protected, all this stuff, and they want that for themselves. And with some women, it's kind of hard to keep going to a church and you're seeing that, and then you're looking at your own pool of men, and then you're like, well, nobody around me does that, or my husband, or even the married women. They'll look and say, well, my husband's nothing like that. You know, I want him to be like that, but he's not like that. You know, you got married women that go to church and the husband stays at home. He doesn't even go to church. I mean, he's not even interested in even trying to, you know, be under the pastor or anything. So that plays a factor too.
That's right. That's a recipe for disaster. All those other men ogling your wife, wanting to give them the holy hug, and it gets closer and closer each week. Can I invite you out to lunch, sister? Sure. Yeah. We a lot of lunch meat out there. I'll put it that way. It's crazy.
And see, the pastor prays on that. He'll pray on them wanting that because he senses that. He knows these single women want a man like him, and he'll pray on that.
That's right. Big time. Especially when they have these marriage counseling sessions. And here's Brother Kwame here. Let me see what he has to say. There he is, Brother Kwame.
Brother Kojo Scurv, how are you, my brother? Big 6-0.
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
I try, yeah. You know Kwame's going to be controversial, Kojo.
Oh, that's my middle name. That's my middle name.
Yeah. Well, Kwame's going to be Kojo. Kwame's going to be controversial, Kojo. How you doing, Tracy, on the Instagram?
Hi, Kwame. How are you?
Well, I'm not bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'll kick off. I mean, the church, yeah. I used to go to church, and once upon a time I went to church. I knew that when I went there, it was all lies. It was all brainwashing. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't force people to do things. You can't change them. But at the end of the day, you know, these churches, we know what they're about, Kojo. They're about money, not the people, but money. Oh yes. I mean, you ask yourself, where do these pastors get all these cars from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Master Gam. 6 cars. Yeah, laugh. Yes, I'm telling you, 6 cars. Kojo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're in Ghana, Kojo. You see how people 24 hours still in the church. I'm telling you, 24 hours. Yeah? They don't even go to bed at this kind. They're 24 hours. Oh my God. Have you got a home to go to? Do you mean to say you've been to the church from what? What time? What, about 5 o'clock in the morning up to the next day? Lord, my goodness me. What's wrong with you? These pastors are not good. Most of them are liars. Most of them are liars. They want your money. They're confusing you.
And I don't know if you know about this, Kwame. As soon as somebody in the congregation does well and gets themselves like a nice car, the pastor feels like he has to get something nicer than that.
Oh yeah, Master. Yes. Tracy, yes. And also, before I go, Kojo, I mean, I've been telling you about this, yeah, and I know you if it was your daughter, you slap the daylights out of her. How can you go to a pastor and let him bath you? Are you for real? That pastor should be in jail for life for what he did. How he did that, Coach, honestly, I don't know how you can get away with it.
Right. That's crazy.
Well, see, the people let the pastor get away with. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was from. I'm from Ghana. Coach was in Ghana. Yeah, there was a pastor. Yeah, that he was What he was doing, he was pretending he was going to give these girls, so-called baptism. No, he was getting these girls to dress themselves to take their clothes off. I mean, he bathed with them.
What?
They're sick.
Yeah.
Sick people. Yeah. We don't just give him one slap.
No, I did that.
One slap. You should. I support you.
Wow.
Anyway, brother, and to take care of yourself. Yeah?
Yes, brother. Thank you so much. There's so many people out there doing things like that, man. Did you see the one at the beach where they had all the women bent over by the beach and he had to kiss their backsides? Yeah,
because most of people are stupid because they just abusing them. They shouldn't get away with it. They shouldn't get away with it at all. Anyway, Coach, good night. Thanks very much.
All right, man. Thanks. Not the truth. You know.
He is right about the many vehicles. Now you got pastors that are mega pastors. They don't have cars. They have private jets and planes and all this stuff.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Oh man. They got the airplanes. They're asking for new upgrades on the airplanes. You know, while many black pastors condemn homosexuality from the pulpit, the choir lofts behind them are often filled with gay singers and musicians. Exactly. Birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? And it's always been. There was a pastor that actually passed away back in the 70s. He had a huge influence in Queens. I won't say his name. He didn't do nothing to me, but they found out after he passed away that he was deep in it like that. You know, I don't understand. And they come against it so hard. I wouldn't even be, if I had to live a double life like that, I wouldn't be a pastor. I would just, you know, but that wouldn't be the issue with me. It would probably be women. And if it was, I'm like, yo, I'm stepping down. But I wouldn't want to step down. So I'd have to stop doing what I'm doing. It's either or. You know, you get to a point in your life where you see your mortality, and is this really important to take the risk? And it's not about taking a risk of getting caught, just being right with yourself after a while. When you know that, you know, there's certain things in excess that, you know, can just bring you off. I wouldn't want to be that way, you know, because it's going to be that last time. Is it worth it? I'm not trying to get like a pastor or something like that, but we got to leave out of here, you know, in our best condition. And whatever it may be, maybe you eat too much and there's obesity going on. Maybe we gossip too much. Maybe, I don't know, you indulge in certain things too much. I don't know, but we have to perfect ourselves. So, I mean, while people will say, oh, you can't condemn the pastors in the black church. So, look, we all have things we got to work on. My problem, again, like I said, is the hypocrisy in condemning other people of what they do, as opposed to, you know, what they do as a pastor or the people in the church. And the people gravitate toward the church. There are people who are mentally ill. I'm not saying everybody who's there is mentally ill. I could say that, right? But I'm not going to say that. But there are some people who really are off, and they need help. They need intervention, right? But they're not going to get it there. They just fit in where they fit in, and they can continue with their mental illness and fit in. And these people have jobs and make money. Just because you're mentally ill doesn't mean you're sitting there. Doesn't mean you're just doing that. You be very intelligent and have something that triggers you off, and you're living an imbalanced life. You know, you need to be back tuned up again. I look at it that way. The Catholic Church views as sinful any sexual act not related to procreation by a couple joined in marriage, but they do nothing about the priest little boys. Exactly. Exactly. They so far gone. They don't want a woman. And even in that, procreation, okay, in marriage, but it just has to be that. Well, you're looking good, honey. Boy, you're looking good in that dress. It's fitting you tight. Let's procreate. There's a pleasure aspect involved in this. And for some reason, people can't see that. They get all uptight. How are you going to get sperm to hit the egg unless there's a pleasure aspect? Unless there's something to the eye that you look at. It's not like, well, I like your elbows with me. No, you like that nice looking ass. You like the way she walks. You like all that. The way a woman's made is perfect to drum up those things inside of you. So how are you going to be a fool? Oh, just procreation. I'm not looking at your titty swinging around, and we're just going to do this for, what are we going to name our child? Okay, Bill, or come on, man. You ain't think about that. Half of you ain't think about your child. You know what can happen after you have sex. But half of you ain't think about, well, we're going to have a wonderful child with our, running around in the yard. You think about that thing and how good it feels. And look how masterful the Creator is. We're not making fun. Look at that. When you're a man and you push in, that's when you feel the pleasure. So you can't keep pushing in. You got to pull out again to repeat the process. And guess what? It increases. I'm punching the camera. Look at me, right? It increases. And the same with the woman. And when you're mounted right, and there's a clitoral stimulation and all of that stuff, it's made that way. Why are we so uptight about it? Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, people can say, well, it's got to be in a marriage, but you go as far as to say it's just procreation. Oh, I'm not knocking you, mixed genre faves. I'm just saying, it's just so crazy how everything, you see, the world has taken something so good and so pleasurable and twisted it around. And I refuse to go that way. Just because they have porn and all these other things, and the people in the church go, they knock that. Half of them got big subscriptions. Go over there and check their history on their computer. And you'll see what it is that they like too. But what I'm saying is that the world has taken it and made it a cheap thing and removed it from the divine thing behind it about family and love and righteous soul ties. When you love somebody and they're a person from you, the soul ties are not bad. The soul ties are bad only when you get with a bad person and it's quick. You figure. That's why the whole thing of marriage, you take your time. But some people, hey, how you doing? Who's this? Oh, this is my husband. Really? Last month, you never told me nothing about him. Well, we got married. I met him 2 weeks ago. Then you get a soul tie with this guy. You didn't try to know who this person was, and then it's a disaster. Now you're not marriage. You take a long time for that. And it don't mean, well, she's making me wait, and I'm going to be faithful and wait, and you telling everybody that, and you got somebody draining your nuts on the regular. So you look good when you get married. He waited for me. No, he didn't. He had somebody else. Let's just talk real. But he's going to act like that. And he's going to look at you like that, like, yes, she's so precious. So the woman he's messing around with, at the end of the day, he's going to look at her like she's more valuable because you didn't give yourself to him, but she didn't do anything. But she might be doing something too. Might not be with a dude either. And she'd look, I did not have another penis in my mouth or in my vagina or in my backside. I did not cheat with a man. Then you should turn around and say, well, how about a woman? Now you busted her. They were licking. Come on, man. I know all kind of things. I haven't seen it and been there, done that. There's nothing my eyeballs haven't seen. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know what's going on in the world. Let me take another sip. Man. Oh, that's Tracy J. Master Glam when she was talking about vagina. Serious, I'm going to spit. I would have been cleaning. For real. I would have been up all night on the conference line, not talking, but because you got to get all between the keyboard and juice is sticky. And oh, man, I'll be all. Then you'd find places 3 days later, I missed that spot.
With a lot of these churches today, I think the majority of churches are messed up because of the pastor. It's like anybody can be a pastor these days. What happened to, the genuine pastor, the one that really wanted to help his community, the one that went out and did things in the community and knew what was going on with certain families and tried to strengthen, the family. But now any and everybody can be a pastor. All you got to do is have enough people that will follow you and that will believe in the doctrine that you're preaching, and you have a congregation right there. It doesn't take much to get a congregation, especially if you're somebody that's very charismatic, you know, you lie real good and all that stuff. Yes, you could have many followers.
Wow. I'd love to hear that part there, Queen Red Pill, if you came in, hit that link. Well, speaking from experience, wow. That is, yeah. It doesn't take much now. And over here in Accra, it's like every other cab driver is a daggone pastor. Serious. And they have their little stickers inside or whatever. And then before you get out, my brother, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I want you to come by my church. Oh, okay. What church do you go to? It is my church. You know, I am a pastor. What? You're the third one I met today.
What? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Again, tell me, pastor, but early on in the ride, he was just checking at every film. Look at her. She is well built. Oh, yeah. Ooh, look at that one. Ooh. Oh, I am a pastor. I want you to come to my church. As I already know what kind of church that is. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's because like we were speaking the other night and even Harriet and mixed genre faves. It's so conservative out here on the outside, the facade. But when you get below, and whenever you have any society that suppresses and oppresses free, I don't mean open and decadent, but just, you know, expression, being a little more free. There's so much finger pointing and you can't do this. And, you know, like the minute you get horny, you start feeling guilty and trying to suppress it. Doesn't mean you want to go jump on everything you see and rape somebody or violate somebody or disrespect somebody, but they don't allow you any space to and any acknowledgement of your real feelings, you know? Or is that cheating? Yeah, that's cheating. Anything that results in orgasm, I don't care if you're humping a dog, that's cheating. Yeah, it may be a different category of cheating.
Anybody other than your spouse or your significant other, yes.
Yeah, that's cheating. You know, is watching porn and fantasizing about the people on the screen, is that cheating? Your mind's there and it's not with your woman. You know, you see what I mean? We can take that so many different, but yeah, with the man, yeah. Okay, let's look at it this way. Did the husband say, honey, I know I don't cheat with a woman and you're glad with that, but I'm gonna be very transparent with you. I'm gonna go out with my friend Bill and we're gonna pull over our van a little bit and he's gonna insert his penis in my backside, resulting in orgasm as I clench it. That's not cheating, but he'll do me too, and I'm gonna come on back home. Does she? Oh, okay, it's not cheating. It's not with a woman. Let me tell you something. There are women out here who like that. More and more. People write to me and tell me that stuff. I've seen it. I've heard it. Like that girl on the bus who told me she prefers that.
No.
This is off and everything, but she says she prefers that. Just like men like, you know, oh man, I'd love to have two women in the bed and half of them can't even handle one. But they it's large. It's been put into their head. Trust me. Been there, done that. You don't want that all the time. You don't want that all the time. And after a while, you ain't gonna want it all. It just mixes everything up. It's just too crazy. But yeah, they want that. And some women I've known want that. Told me graphically, this girl on the bus, I wish I can get in contact with her. She would come on. I was doing shows back then too. She said, I'm not going to show my face, but I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm like, wait, you said you like another man in the bed? I mean, just to do you or something like that? No, yeah, he can do me too. And that's the point. Both of them can do me. But when I'm down on that man and giving it up, I'm on my knees, you know, the mouth thing. She says, I want to see my man come and kiss me on my neck, kiss me on the side of my face, open his mouth, and I'll plop it in his mouth and hold it for him too. Ooh, I love that. Hamada. I was embarrassed and she wasn't. And she was loud. Old man sitting there, he had headphones on, but he heard that. He might have had the headphones turned down, the ear hustle. That's what a lot of them old dudes do. They be bopping their head. Ain't no music in the headphone. And how I knew it? Because when she said that, oh, hell no. Oh. As soon as she said, oh, hell no.
Wow.
Yep. Oh man, no, she got graphic, and I was like, why she gotta tell me all that? Shit, yeah, we shared a prize, but we kiss afterward. I'm like, oh my God, oh God. I said, you seriously? She said, yeah. Y'all men like it with two women, so why can't we like it? And there's a lot of them out there like that. There's a lot of you see a lot of guys say, oh man, you know, I'd love to have me a bisexual woman because all bisexual women ain't gonna want another man or threesome. They may just want to be in a relationship or some kind of sexual thing with women, whatever. They ain't always a group thing. And they say that not knowing that because that woman, she herself is like that, she might like you to be like that. I've met a lot of that in my life. So Lance, you think we can? No, I'm sorry. I'll get down like that. The other thing there with you and your girl, nah. I've got to be the only dick in this party. Yes, that's right. It's crazy. Now, all of that mixed up, man. And let's leave it all alone. Leave it all alone. You start dipping in debt. Well, I'm just doing this and I'm just doing that. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. Pull you in. You look after a year, you're doing all kind of stuff. Got a gag ball in your mouth and a butt plug in your butt and just all kind of nipple clamps and all kind of electric things and ticklers and being whipped and, you know.
That's too much. That is too much.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yep.
That's not even sex anymore. I would consider that torture.
That's strange. It's a slippery slope. You know, that's what it is. Because your mind gets used to certain things and it's not balanced. If it is you're with your partner and you're thinking about family and you're thinking about love and you're getting the soul ties. Yeah, the normal stuff between two people is kinky enough. Oh man, it is. In a good way, in a natural way, in a simple way. When you go off the deep end reaching, for every action, there's a reaction. You know, if you lean one way, something else has got to come to, you know, especially with sex and soul ties and stuff like that. No. People forget about that. All the things that you're connecting with, all the people that they ever went to bed with, you know.
And see, all the people in the church that has that problem with the soul ties, they're not getting healed from that stuff. And that's why they're so crazy.
Yeah. And it's much more than just, oh, I have a soul tie to you, because imagine, I look at it this way. Like you have this rope, this invisible rope connected from you to the next person. If they're physically 1,000 miles away, it stretches. It always stays connected. So a lot of us got all of these ropes, these ties, these things. And if one person is angry and pissed off, you might feel that a little bit. The next person is twisted in their kink, you're going to feel a little way. So imagine the swirls of emotions and feelings and thoughts. Then they want to turn around and say, this person's bipolar. No, they might have a whole lot of soul ties you don't know about. Right? And so you have a soul tie with someone and you say, well, I'm going to shut down because I know they're out there doing their thing and I'm here and I've been faithful. So if I shut down, then it'll be all right. No, you're connected to that person from the soul tie you have with them. So when they're out there doing their thing and got the kink going on and the freakishness going on, it's directly connected to you. And so what are you going to do? Shut down more and shut down more and shut down more? It's too much. To have a clear mind is a wonderful thing. And not even to have a memory of certain things. I mean, from my wilder days, I got so many, you know, the soul ties have been healed up, but the memories, man, oh my God. You know, you see somebody that looks like somebody, it reminds you, ding, ding. So I'm walking through my day, ding, 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 no, stay inside. Did you go outside when Mr. Scurv was in America? Did you go outside? I said, yeah, like 8 days ago. Not a week. Them dings. Flashbacks. There's one thing I agree with TD Jakes when he said about the sexual flashback. Not necessarily sexual, but just scenarios. It may not be sex, it may be the soul tie connected to that person that reminds me of something else. Or that's why my mind I can utilize that thing, the tremendous sense of recall, because my mind has seen so many things, my eyes have seen so many things, so I can just pull it down as I need it. And sometimes it's like rain. You know, it's okay when you're walking home, you don't have your umbrella, and you got a little, boop, boop, it's drizzling, boop, I'll be home in time, boop, I ain't gonna get wet, boop, 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 psh, and it's a whole storm. And now you're wet. If it's a woman, then she's wet. But now you caught that. Now you give up because it's like, I can't get no more wet than I am. You ever see a woman or a man walking home slow in the pouring down rain? And you never realize, well, you would think, why are they walking slow? It's raining. Because you inside dry. They can't get no more wet.
Right, right. And they're probably still a few ways from home. They probably still far away from home anyway. So they're like, I'm going to get wet anyway. So I might as well just sit here and just.
Exactly.
Take my time.
But it's such a defeated look. You know, they walking all slow. Got time to wave at you in the rain. You inside in the window. Hey, how you doing, fool? Why you walking so slow? And when here, sexual molestation in childhood can lead to a mental illness because so much emotion from the pain and the experience is suppressed as a defense mechanism. You are so right about that. You're so right about that. There's so many people who they take it also that it's their fault. And I have my usual seat that I slide around on, but this hard seat, my butt cheeks are hurting. I'm like, what the heck? I had to switch for a while. But you're right. That defense mechanism is suppressed. Yeah. And denial also. Denial is big time. Somebody can open up to you and share stuff with you, and you know that this is sacred. Not that what happened was sacred, but them open up to you and, you know, it's in confidence or whatever. And I've had it where sometime, like, you know, different individual I've known, male and female, you discuss stuff with them, you feel like, okay, you can open up this conversation because they took you there with it. And you say, you know, listen, about the thing we were talking about the other day, I was thinking about what you said. What do you mean what I said? Look at them like, you know, I don't want to say it, but your experience when you were young. What experience when I was young? Like,
oh, gosh.
Okay. Then like 3 years later, yes, I want to talk to you about what you did to me before, right? It's crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I've personally experienced that from people. And I know that's how it can be so painful that you don't even want to. I mean, the next day with this individual, not to say I'm going to just be grilling you. I didn't. I was very much walking on eggshells, very sensitive, very, you know, I was so gentle. You could have held a candle up in front of me and the flame wouldn't have moved. You know what I mean? It wasn't right. Like, you know? Let me see here. Tell me why Fort Lauderdale is flooded right now. Didn't I say it's like there's a storm? It's been so windy, cars floating down the road. No, yes. My sister-in-law lives down there. And it's going off down there. Is this targeted or something? I mean, I don't know. People say, well, you're always thinking about something on that level. You have to these days. You don't know when it's going to come, where it's going to come from. You don't know where. Hail to the no. I got to check today. I know some people, of course, I know a lot of people, yourself included, but I want to check up on that. Most folks have perverted sex was touching the Yeah. You're right, Queen Red Pill. Me by my older female cousin, 5 years old and 30-something years old. I didn't know why I was doing these things. I just know, you know, just keep going, you know, 5 years old. So I'm imprinted with all kind of things. No, I know that. I know that's what made me as wild as I've been, you know, but it wasn't traumatic. Like it was pain, but it just made me more promiscuous, which attracted all them other things and women, you know. I learned a lot in that, and I'm glad that I've been protected and clean and, you know, just to be, even today, Mrs. Scurv is home, and I took a walk out by the mall to pick up some things. We didn't cook tonight. We just got some vegan stuff from the restaurant up there. And I had messaged 2 people and just said, hey, you know, it's nice to take a walk. Not that you don't want to be with the person you're with, but when you're by yourself and you're at peace with yourself, and you could think and you could be free, and you know, you have fun with yourself. There's no turmoil on the inside. And I remember that feeling. I remember specifically, it was always my childhood, but even though those things happened to me, but I remember 17 years old walking through Manhattan, and I was high. I was always naturally high walking around anyway. But this day, I just wanted to be. I got up and I told my mother, I said, listen, I was off that day. I said, I'm just going to go out in the city and float. I'm going to keep calling you, checking in with you and stuff like that. My old girlfriend wasn't with me either. I was checking in with her like, yeah, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm there. You never know. Before the days of cell phones. And I remember being so at peace, time didn't matter. I was going to go home whenever I wanted to go home. And I got up, it was about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I left. Got in the city like 12 something. Didn't know where I was going. I just started walking real slow. And I just imagined like, okay, if I lived right here, you know, then that other home wouldn't exist. I don't have to worry about the time. Let me go check out this music in this music store. And I might have been in there for 3 hours and bought a couple things. Then I went to a bookstore. Then I sat down at a restaurant, took my time eating, watching the people. People started coming around me more, just small conversation. You switch numbers or something, you keep going. You find yourself, you don't know where you're going to be. Then I went down by the South Street Seaport. You could look over into Brooklyn and you could sit on these little layback chairs and stuff and feel like you're at the beach. And I'm doing all this walking, but I felt so peaceful. I didn't get back home until like daybreak. And I felt so good. I laid down for 2 hours, got back up on 2 hours of sleep and just did some stuff in the neighborhood. But, you know, so many of us are so connected to our trauma. It doesn't mean we want it. But when we're in denial of it, it's never going to go away. When we face it, it does bring a certain amount of pain because you got to reopen that wound to set it back right. It's like a broken bone that healed up wrong. You got to break it again to make it heal up back right. And many of us, we don't want to do that. It's too painful. Like I said, you'll see a stray dog walking funny out in the street. And his leg was broken and it looks broken, but it healed up the wrong way. So walking with a broken leg and walking crooked became normalcy for the dog. He's learned to live with the broken bone that healed wrong. A lot of us have learned to live with the trauma that we've gone through, and we live around it because if we step on it or the memory of it, it brings us great pain. So therefore it controls us. See? So only when we face it and say, you know what? I got to re-break this bone, but reset it in the right way. Reset it in the right way and let it heal again. And then we'll realize the way we were walking crooked was really bad because now that affected our spine. It affected the other legs of your dog. And I'm just saying, it affects everything, even you in the body if something's off on a physical level, but on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, it is what it is. Wow, we coming up on 2 hours. And I said I was going to do 2 hours and open up the conference line. How y'all feel about that? Let me get that number. Let me get that number. Because we can really go off because I can feel the backed up words that people want to say. And Queen Red Pill, you come on in there too. So all of you, Miss D Nice, we know Master Glam and Miss Genre will be there and Tracy J, and I love them too. But I want to throw in some new people to get that energy out of them because I'm going to kick back and listen. No, I'll be right there too for a little while because we've been putting in some work. We've been putting in the work. Well, let me put this in here too. I don't think this is going to be enough space. I think I have 200 characters for the message. So let's put this message here. Conference line going to be lit tonight again. Yeah, rape, sexual abuse, and most exactly. Here we go. That's a call-in number for the conference line. I was listening to it this morning, and I heard Tracy say, "Who came in here before me and beat me?" I was like, "Wow!" So it's like it's like a race. Oh, that's so much fun. And I have another international call link in case you are out of the country. Okay, let me see if this is the message is so long. I don't know if this is too many characters. Let's give it a shot. Or I'll just put the link up if it's too much. Okay, let's see. Master Glam. We have some good old conversations there. Let me see. This might break it up into two-part the messages. Let me see if it's not enough. Did it go through? Oh, went through good. Okay. And that's for the international calls. Landon Price. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this down and we're going to go over to the conference line and that's going to be unlimited until you drop. Bop till you drop. That's the all you can eat verbal cerebral connection area. Talk until you can't talk no more. 5 hours coming, it cuts off, just call back again. Boom, here we are again. That's the beauty of it, you know. So anyway, I'm going to recap on that we had fun. We said a few things, you know. We spoke about the characters and the clowns of the church and stuff like that. We spoke on the serious things, but by no means was it a way of bashing any one religion or one sect of Christianity or any religion. We just say the things that most people are afraid to say. You know, we speak on the things that most people are afraid to speak on when they observe them. So we say it. I mean, why not? You know, mental illness too can come about, I feel, when you can't express yourself, when you're not allowed to express your side of things and what you really see. So when children are in the place of a church and they're so young and they call out what they see. Mama, how come the pastor wife be looking at you like she hates you sometimes? Shut up. You better listen to that kid. The kid's filters are not clogged or even removed. A lot of us don't have filters. A lot of us, our filters have been removed. So every bit of gunk goes in there and we accept it and turn our head, oh, the Lord gonna work it out. It don't work that way. You know what I mean? It don't work that way. Anyway, we're right up on the 2-hour mark. Let's go to let me just put that number up. I'm gonna make a banner for that. Somebody's already there. That's a good thing. I'll flash this across the screen for those who may be on the phone and can't really see it. I'm gonna make a separate banner tonight for that too. 321-521-2515 is the calling number if you're in the United States, and you go in the chat room and you can see the international calling numbers on that page on LanceScurv.com. If you go to LanceScurv.com, it's on the top where you see international calling numbers and have all these different countries there. And the bottom line with that is if you call from your country on that number, it does not induce a charge. It's toll free. It's free. I don't know how they work that one out. Maybe it's through the cloud or something like that. But it's free. All right. So anyway, make sure to sign up for the Patreon where we share these conference lines and the little short things that are very explicit sometimes, but we say it the way we want to say it. It's not the prim and proper, decent versions of things, me being the upstanding member of the society that I am. You can contact me by email or directly by phone. That number, the American number, you can hit me on WhatsApp or you can call straight through. There are no long distance charges, but you will be calling West Africa, but it's through an app, through the internet. So we've circumvented all charges. You know, I got to be slick being the junior inspector gadget that I am with the gadgets and stuff. So anyway, yes, let's go. What she say? Conference crew, get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. I can go a lot more. I don't want to wake everybody up. Mr. What you doing? Are you crazy or something? Yeah. 5 hours plus. That's right. If you want to join the 5 hours plus conversation that's uninhibited, you better get on in there now. Somebody's in there now, you know? Yeah, Landon, I know you're going to be there. Tracy J, like she said, get ready. I'll be there, in and out. Yeah, I'll be listening. Sometimes I'm voyeuristic on my own conference line. Let me just shut up for a while. Let me listen. I'm like a peeping through the window. Nothing wild though. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me hit a little music here. I will sign on out. Yeah, let me play a second or two of this church music, right? Anyway, much love, y'all. Mwah.